Hello and welcome to Featherlight Stories. One new story every Thursday and Sunday. Stories you can think about or talk about or feel inspired by, but stories that will always help you feel calm. My name is Cedric, and this is episode 8, The Oyster's Pearl. Oceans can be deep and dark, with their floor sometimes being further away from where we stand than the highest mountaintops. We don't need to dive that deep to find the oyster that was known in the whole South Sea for having the largest pearl anyone had ever seen. Oyster, that had been its name since it had become famous, was proud of that pearl because it had taken many years to grow it from a tiny grain of sand. Now, it was the size of a melon, and when Oyster lifted the upper shell and allowed a few rays of sunshine, broken by the shallow water above it, to touch the pearl, a subtle golden glow was visible even from the surface. Even from the sky, for seagulls often flew above it and admired the shiny object below the water. The seagulls never tried to grab it, for they knew that whenever anything came near to that oyster, it would close, and not even a mighty shark was able to crack its shell. Oyster's pride for its pearl was not the whole story, though, for even if that was what had made it so famous, it was a heavy thing to carry, and after all these years it would be really nice to start all over again and begin growing a new one. Something so precious, however, was not to be tossed away. The pearl would have to be given to someone who would truly appreciate it and would share it with the world, for that is why Oyster had formed it. Here, sadly, between the shore and the deep sea, only fish, some crabs and birds above were able to marvel at it. So, Oyster decided that if one day someone would come to ask for the pearl and promise to take good care of it, it would open its shell and the pearl would be theirs. It didn't take long for humans to spot the glowing goldish aura of the pearl. On a beautiful morning when the sun was halfway up a cloudless sky, 2 seagulls, a grey and a white one, were taking a rest on a little rock that stuck out of the calm water that had such small waves that the bottom, and with it the shiny pearl, were clearly visible. The seagulls witnessed a little boat halting almost directly above Oyster. "Well, I guess this was the last time we got to admire that pearl," said the white seagull. A human jumped off the boat into the water and started to swim down towards Oyster. The seagulls witnessed, not to their surprise, how the pearl disappeared out of sight as the clam closed rapidly. The human tried to put its fingers in between the 2 shells and pull them apart. The grey seagull yawned. The human kept trying for a little bit longer, before bubbles started to appear on the surface, and after some fast strokes, that human appeared next to the boat again. It said something to the human that helped it on board, and the boat went back to land. The white seagull peered into the water and saw the pearl's shine reappear. "I guess I was wrong." The next day the boat returned, and The human, this time equipped with some kind of a pointy stick, jumped off the boat again. "I bet 2 fishes that it won't come back with the pearl." The white seagull didn't hesitate. "3 fishes. I think it will." They watched while the human swam down, how the clam closed, and how the stick was used in an attempt to split the 2 shells from each other again. To no avail. Bubbles appeared, and a few counts later so did the human. And not long after, the boat left. "You owe me 3 fishes," said the grey seagull. The next day, the boat came back again. "No idea what they'll try this time, but I bet 3 fishes on Oyster. No pearl for the humans again." The white seagull sighed. "I still owe you 3 fishes for yesterday, but okay, I say they succeed this time." The human appeared on deck with the stick and dressed in something that made it look like a big sea lion with a tube sticking out of its mouth. It fell backwards into the water. "They're going to try to scare Oyster into releasing its pearl?" The grey seagull laughed, while both of them curiously witnessed the human sea lion using its stick on the closed clam. It was pulled between the shells and pulled up and down. Then the human tried to turn the whole oyster upside down, but it didn't succeed. It poked with the stick against the shell, used its feet to stomp on it, and after trying to separate the shells one more time, the human swam back to the surface, climbed onto the boat, and left. The grey seagull looked satisfied. "That's 6 fishes for this one." On the 4th day, the boat appeared once more, and the sea lion-like human, equipped with a fishing net and that same stick again, fell backwards into the water and moved towards Oyster. 15 fishes total on the human coming back without the pearl." The white seagull hesitated. "I owe you 6 fishes by now. How many more times will this human come back?" 15 fishes. Take it or leave it." "All right, fine. I say it succeeds. Finally." Again, they saw how Oyster, fully closed, was being poked with the stick a few times, but then the human wrapped the fishing net around the clam and started to try to pull it up. It tried to swim, paddling with its legs and causing a big cloud of sea sand to obscure the seagull's view. "What's happening?" "I had no idea. I can't see a thing." The seagulls anxiously waited for the human to appear, but the sand didn't settle for some time, and by the time the sun was nearly fully below the horizon, it was too dark to see anything. "We should leave. We don't want to sit here when it's dark." "But what about our bet? The human didn't come back without the pearl. We don't know who won." The seagulls waited longer, and as they saw the sun disappear below the horizon, the sky changed colors from bright orange to dark red to purple, and before it turned black, a large wave appeared before their eyes and a shark emerged from it. Then there was a splash, and the water became calm again. The night had fallen. The next morning, when the sun appeared in a cloudless sky, the boat was still floating near the little rock that stuck out of the water, which had a few feathers on top of it. The water was calm, with nearly no waves, making the sea floor clearly visible, and with it, Oyster, with its pearl shining brightly, still waiting and hoping to, one day, start the creation of a new pearl.